Welcome to Aspire. Today we're going to look at the latest product from Aspire, the new SkyStar Revvo kit. First of all, let's look at the finishes on the mods. We have blue slate, blue camo, white, wood grain, and black carbon fiber. The whole kit is the mod and the Revvo tank. Now let's look at the tank in more detail. So the Revvo tank, it comes in two sizes. This is a 3.6 milliliter, and we also have a TPD compliant 2 milliliter tank. This one is 45 millimeters high from the very bottom to the top, 24 millimeters wide, and it's 3.6 milliliters capacity. The TPD tank, 41 millimeters high and 24 millimeters wide. Let's take it apart for a closer look. We have the Delrin mouthpiece, just unscrews very easily. Then we have what we call a top chamber. The top chamber has 3 adjustable airflow holes, and they very easily turn, open and closed. This is the coil securing screw. We can remove this and then we can see the filling tube and the radial coil. We'll have a closer look at that very soon. The radial coil slides off easily over the filling tube. Now we can see the filling tube and the chamber. To remove the glass, we need to take off the glass securing ring. Screw it all the way off, and then we can remove the glass. I want to show you 2 things in more detail. First, the filling tube. It's spring-loaded. A very soft spring, but it will seal the tank. So now this, beautiful. The revolutionary new radial coil from Aspire. The Aspire radial coil. Resistance of the ARC coil is 0.10 to 0.16 ohms. The suggested wattage for this coil is between 50 and 100, with the optimum wattage being 80 to 85 watts. Okay, let me show you how easy it is to put it all back together. First, the glass. Just slide it on nice and easily, and then the glass securing ring. Drop over the coil and just push it down so it sits firmly. Then the coil securing screw, just firm, not over tighten. The top chamber and the mouthpiece. And there we have it. So, now we can fill with some e-liquid and we can have a vape. First of all, let me show you which fillers will work. We can use a glass stripper. We can use one of the mini bottles. And we can use a Gorilla bottle. This is what I'll be using today. Okay, so we can see the small filling tube on the inside, so we don't have to take anything apart in order to fill the tank. Locate the filling hole, push down, squeeze until the liquid's in the tank, release the spring first and then stop squeezing. And then it's done. So we filled it. Now when we first fill the tank, we need to turn the tank upside down just for a minute to fully wet the coil. Now, each time you need to fill the tank again, after you first use a new coil, then you should do the same thing, but only for a few seconds. Okay, so now the mod. The dimensions of the SkyStar. It's 91 millimeters high, it's 50 millimeters wide, and 32 millimeters thick. First of all, we need to put in the batteries. Turn it over, locate the little fingernail slot, and remove the magnetic back panel. Take the batteries, making sure that they are the correct orientation. In this case, positive and positive. So positive and positive. There we go. And just place back the magnetic rear cover. Okay, so now we can see the screen. It's switched on. Let's look at the mod itself. A good solid sprung 510 pin. The fire button just at the top of the screen, and the USB port for both charging and firmware upgrades. And this is the touchscreen. We have 2 or 3 options here. We can go into stealth mode with the fire button, 1, 2, 3. The screen is blank. You can't do anything with the touchscreen. If you press the fire button, it will fire, but nothing will happen on the screen. To get back out of stealth mode, 1, 2, 3, and it's back on again. So, to lock the mod, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's locked. It's not switched off, the fire button is locked. From this lock screen, if you want to shut the mod down, press and hold for 2 to 3 seconds until you get system off. To turn it back on, of course, 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From there, if you want the clock on, 3 taps on the screen. If you want to go back to the interface, 1, 2, 3, and it goes back. So to get to the modes and all the different settings, we just swipe down the screen twice, and we've got modes, data, system, time, and about. So let's start with modes. The usual: wattage, voltage, bypass, and TC. So N1, M1, TI, M2, SS, M3. Swipe right, and it goes back to this screen. Swipe right again, and we're back in the modes. In the data, we've got the wattage preheat. Right now this is set to high, but I'll change that. We've got TCR and CPS. CPS is where we can adjust the firing time. We can have hard, normal, or soft. So we'll just leave that at normal. Okay, now let's look at TCR. We have Ni, nickel, Ti, and SS, stainless steel. Let's look at Ti. You'll notice that we can only adjust the power. Now this is true for Ni, Ti, and stainless steel. We can't adjust the TCR, but the power, easily adjustable. For M1, M2, and M3, we can adjust the power, and the TCR value. The lowest TCR value is 0.2. The highest TCR value we can set is 9.99. And that goes for the M1, M2 and M3. CPS, these are the power curves that you can set. Now let's look at the system. In the system, we can change the vape time, the screen timeout, the watch time or clock time, the brightness, the language, and we also have a default. If we use default, it will reset to the original factory settings. So, screen time. Right now it's 15 seconds. We can increase that to 2 minutes, 120 seconds. Okay? And similarly with vape times and watch times. Okay, so the time. You can see the date here, days, months, years, the time underneath. Right now it's set for 11/11/2017 for the date, and the time is 11:33. Pointer is off or number or pointer. What this means is the pointer is like the hands on a watch, an analog watch. Off is no time at all, and number is a digital clock. You can easily adjust these by tapping on the numbers. I don't need to because this date is right and this time is right. But we can change, so let's change the time to 12:33 or 13:33. I'll go back to 11:33. In About, we have the QR code. You can scan this with your phone and it will take you to the website to tell you all about the Aspire SkyStar and more hints and tips and user information. Okay, now let's have a vape. So we need to go into modes, and then for me, I want watts. To do that, swipe up twice. And we can get to the settings. We can see it's 75 watts. It's hard. So I want to go from 75 to 80. And I think I'll have the setting at normal. There we go. Press the fire button to confirm. And we're there. We can see the screen. It's in wattage, it's 80 watts, and there's an N there, that's normal. So now we need to attach the Revvo tank and have a vape. Before we vape, there's a couple of things I need to tell you. First of all, with the mod switched on, do not fire without the top chamber. Also, if you're not going to vape, don't press the fire button. Switch it off. We don't want this happening, do we? Another thing, inside the top chamber, you may get some condensation. Just clean it with some tissue or a soft cloth and it will be fine. Maybe occasionally you need to do this. Another thing to remember, to keep the coil saturated, every 3 to 5 puffs, depending on what type of juice you're using, it's advisable to turn the tank upside down for 3 to 5 seconds just to resaturate the coil. One last thing to remind you, obviously when you're not using the tank for a period of time, then just close the airflow. And of course, switch off. So, let's have a vape. Wow. Thank you for watching the introduction of the new revolutionary SkyStar Revvo kit.